people think that selling a house is just putting a sign at the front, putting it on Trade Me, and the house will sell itself. Down here, it's a lot more affordable than owning a property in Auckland, Wellington, and up north. So that was the reason the massive national migration happened.
In today's Q&A, we're diving into why the New Zealand housing market has stalled. We'll explore why more Kiwis are heading south, why homes are lingering longer on the market, and how rising inventory levels are putting serious pressure on sellers. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. My name is George Simpson, and I am joined once again today by Nathan Najib. How are you, Nathan?
It's good to be here, George. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Very well. It's good to be back doing a Q&A video.
Absolutely.
As opposed to videos on our own. So firstly, thank you though to all our viewers. We've really been enjoying your feedback on our recent videos that have been focused on supporting buyers. So thank you very much for your feedback on those, and do feel free to go back and check those out as well. We've been working very hard on them for you. In terms of questions today, we've got a bit of an update on various things. So let's get started. Figures released, Nathan, by Stats New Zealand show 85,000 people living in the North Island in 2018 had moved to the South Island by 2023. That was 30,000 more people than there were moving in the other direction. What are your thoughts on that? It's the largest internal migration flow recorded in New Zealand history.
Yeah. So that would be in particular between 2020 and 2022, when the market went straight through the roof here because the demand increased in a huge way and supply wasn't as much. So those numbers would be an old number they're talking about. Now, because whilst people are still moving down here, not as much because they're having trouble selling their houses up north as the economy is tough and they're not getting what they want for their houses over there. The reason people are moving down here is because of, in general, in New Zealand, it's a very unaffordable place to live in from owning a house perspective. Yeah. So moving down here, it's a lot more affordable than owning a property in Auckland, Wellington, and up north. So that was the reason the massive national migration happened between those years.
And you think it's slowed down because the same kind of situation is now happening here in Christchurch, or not quite as bad, but it is getting to that point that it's almost not worth it now?
But perhaps, yes, and the main reason, in my opinion, would be because they can't sell their houses up in Auckland. Like we still get offers from people from Auckland on our properties here, yeah, but they can't sell their houses up there because the price has been slashed by 50%, 60%, and they think they're going to get the prices that they used to get, and they get disappointed, and the property that they put an offer on here, that doesn't go anywhere.
It's not going to happen, right? Okay. Well, market insights from Ryan's from May of this year. What should buyers and sellers try and understand from these figures? So national sales are up 8.9% year on year. Prices flat, median down 0.9% to 763,000. Canterbury median price has been stable at 680,000 on average, and it's taken longer to sell properties at an average of 43 days in Canterbury.
Yeah. So for the sellers, I suggest to be realistic when they're selling their properties. The prices we used to achieve back in 2021, 2022, they're not there anymore. Yeah. Talk to an agent who can maximize the value of your property in the current market, but understand that those prices that people used to get, that's not happening. The reason properties sit on the market for a long period of time, because the expectation is unrealistic, or the agent perhaps told them that their house is worth way more than what it actually worth in today's market. Right. And the other reason properties sit on the market for a long period of time is because the stock has increased.
Buyers have a lot of choice.
Correct. When we talk about the five variables, the two variables, supply and demand, right? Yeah. Now, while the demand is increased slightly, the supply is increasing in a huge way. I've got the graph here. If you have a look at here, if we can put that for our viewers, the supply has increased in a huge way, and the demand, number of sales has come back. Look at this graph,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if that's happening, the supply is increasing and the demand is decreasing, well, it's what you call a buyer's market.
Exactly. And we're
Yeah.
definitely in a buyer's market right now. Buyers are being more cautious as well, more careful, and they have so much choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the sellers, if you're selling,
Be realistic.
be realistic, price it fairly, market it beautifully, present it well, and work. Have an amazing agent that can get advise you accordingly. Because I feel like people think that selling a house is just putting a sign at the front, putting it on Trade Me, and the house will sell itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may have happened in 2020, 21, 22, 22. Now it's totally different. You make sure you've got a professional who's on the job, can do a brilliant job by you, and help you maximize the value of your most expensive asset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And is it more affordable to buy land and build a new home in New Zealand? Or are you better off purchasing an existing property at the moment in the market today?
That is, so what happens, George, is when the market takes off, goes up, right? What happens is it's cheaper to build because the price of properties goes up first, and the building prices increases, right?
Following that.
Correct. Because demand increases, and then now builders they've got so much options, so the prices of build increase afterwards, right? So in the other market, the market on the way down, like we've had in the last two years or so, it's cheaper to buy an existing house because the price is still high to build,
Yes.
and the builders, they're in the business of making money, right?
Yeah.
So if they're building a house for 1.2.5 million, 1.250, then there's no way that they will sell it for 1.1. Like
No.
prime examples, like, we're selling houses and I sold a house in West Milton. It's 130 Silver Peak for 1,285,000. The similar house, if you build it, it will cost him 1.3.
Yeah.
So why would a builder, number one, build homes?
Yeah.
Number two, sell it at a loss unless they have to. So to answer the question, it's better on a downward trend, the market, to buy an existing house way cheaper.
100%. And Wellington and Auckland house prices have dropped significantly since their peak, but Christchurch hasn't seen the decline to the same extent. So why do you think the Christchurch market has remained a little bit more resilient?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it's from if we're looking at one particular area, the market have come back. It hasn't come back to the amount what Auckland and Wellington, because they had increased, they had a massive increase.
Yeah.
What goes up comes back down.
Yeah.
The faster something climbs, the harder it falls. The faster something goes up, the harder it falls, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened in Wellington. We've had increases, but we didn't have that kind of increases.
No?
So hence we come back slightly. We've still come back. We haven't come back as much as our cities like Auckland and Wellington has come back. So we certainly have come back. The reason it's we are more resilient in Canterbury, I suggest because we've already when Christchurch and Canterbury has always been an affordable place to live in.
Yeah.
So
Sure. And for those people out there watching, the numbers are Wellington City's percent change since the peak is down 28.6%, Auckland 17.7%, and Christchurch 0.5%. So that's where we're at there. Speaking of prices and the market, how does this year's winter housing market compare to last year's so far? And is buyer activity still a little bit subdued, or are we starting to see signs of renewed interest now with the recent changes?
the market it's been like every year from 2021 that winter is actually a winter market. Like 2021, 2022, we never had a winter market.
Wasn't the case, no.
No. In 2023, it was slightly slower. 2024, slightly more slower. And this year, it is these heaps of stock. So once again, it is a slow market. Whilst the demand has increased because the OCR changes, the interest rate is not like it used to be.
Yeah.
The market, the supply is still plenty. And moving forwards, come spring, the supply is going to be even more.
Yeah.
And the buy is not going to increase that much. So I'm suggesting this: if you're thinking about selling next 6 months or so, or with from now till next 2 years, you better bring your thing forward and go to the market sooner than later. Yeah.
Sure. And Selwyn is the fastest growing region in New Zealand, actually, with Rolleston leading the charge in terms of growth. Do check that video out.
Certainly.
With this population growth, does this influence house prices to move upwards?
So the thing we need to look at is the demand and supply.
Yeah.
If the supply is an avalanche of supplies coming to the market and demand is not increasing, the price is not going to increase, right? You got inflation things, so the price is going to increase slightly, but it's not going to be a huge increase like we've had 2022, because in 2022 it was the only thing was supply and demand. The supply was not that much and huge demand, and combine that with print of money, heaps of money being printed, and also the interest rate being almost 0%. So those things are the two things that we need to really look at: is demand and supply. The price is not going to increase in a huge way when supply is increasing in a massive way like it is in so on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And we have some general comments to respond to from some of our YouTube videos. First one being from Smitty. Who in their right mind would buy a house in New Zealand at these ridiculous prices? They need to drop by 50% at minimum. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? Would be lovely if they dropped by 50%.
I think that affordability will come back to a very affordable level if it comes back by 50%. That won't happen, but I would like it to come back realistically for our economy to be a sustainable level, because the huge growth is never sustainable. It's not needed for real estate growth. While everybody gets excited about the growth, it's actually no good for the economy, because if people can't afford to buy houses, like Smithy's saying, they're just not going to buy houses. And affordability level at the moment, George, it needs to be between 3 to 5 times household income. Do you know what it is now?
I don't.
We did a video that last week about that, 7.41%. And when National came in power, they said they're going to bring it back to 3 to 5 times. And now, because the election again, they've changed their approach. Now they want to get more votes. So they're like making it again, like dropping this keep on dropping the OCR. Like we said in the video that we did, the OCR should have stayed where it was, because we actually want the price to come back.
Exactly. Well, dropping it has those flow-on effects as well that lead to things that you don't want to see.
Exactly.
In the short term, sure, it's going to help things.
Sure.
But long term, actually do check out that recent video that Nathan did where he spoke about why or whether or not the government is adding fuel to the fire by reducing OCR rates. And another comment, this one's from Land LJ3E. Very helpful info as a first home buyer. From our builder's inspection report, minor comments were things like a few roof tiles are dented. Can I give an offer $40,000 lower than the one roof estimated value? Potentially.
Yeah, you're right. You can probably answer that because you work with a lot of buyers.
I do.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, I do work with a lot of buyers. The reality of the real estate market is that you can offer whatever you want, but you just have to understand that owners consider every offer that they get, and adjusting your offer amount based on certain things found in builder's report depends on what is found in the builder's report. So obviously a few minor dents in the roof tiles doesn't sound like it's a big issue. But
no, just to add to that, George, so you can make an offer and get the offer accepted, whatever you're comfortable with, and the vendor obviously agrees to it, being a buyer's market, so you can be a little bit tough when you're negotiating. Once you get an offer on paper, get a builder, obviously it's going to be subject to builder's report. The builder can give you a quote of how much it's going to cost to fix the tile roof, or whatever it needs to be done. Then you can go back to the vendors again, and you do that. We do that quite often, right? We negotiate after the property, the deal was done, right? To fix the issue. That's why you get a builder's report. If there's anything wrong structurally with the property, then you can request from a vendor, say either you fix it or drop it by $5,000 so I can fix it myself.
Yeah. Always get a builder's report. is our recommendation. Okay, just to conclude as well, stay tuned as we have two major updates coming in July, the OCR on the 9th and the inflation on the 16th. So do stay tuned. We will be reporting to you about that, what our thoughts are and what changes in the market as a result. Thank you very, very much for watching. It is your support that allows us to continue doing these, and we really appreciate you continuing to support us. We've been working very hard on these. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe and share, and we look forward to coming back to you in the next one with some more insights and some more truth. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Real Talk.